Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Kojimo here, back with another video. I am super pumped to give you this information because today we are going to teach you 5 habits that pros are utilizing in every single one of their games. These are things that if you can develop and start thinking about, even if you're going to struggle with it at the beginning, you are going to transform how good of a player you are. You're going to make sure that all of these skills are being developed, and it's going to be so good for your future. So without further ado, hit that subscribe button, share this video with your duo, and let's go ahead and get right into it. Now, the first thing that pros are doing so well with inside of this game, guys, is isolating fights. Now, I'm going to explain this in multiple ways here because there is so many complexities we can explore on this issue. But essentially what pros are trying to do, and you should be doing this as much as you can, is fighting as few people at a time, right? Because if we can take 1v1, v1, v1 versus taking a 1v4 or 1v3, we are always going to be winning. So it doesn't matter what position they are in, they are always trying to think about this, right? So that's why if a T-side player is in a post plant, if he's sitting here, he is trying to think to himself, how can I make sure that I am peeking the fewest people possible? So what he might do is he might try to get info on where the players are, right? He might be looking, okay, there's 2 guys CT and only 1 backhaul. Well, he's going to sit here and try to isolate this fight on the backhaul guy. Or if he's in a more dynamic position and he understands this info, he's going to come through here and try to take this fight, because once he wins the fight on the solo player, it unlocks all of that space, and now it allows him to do the same thing in the 1v2, right? Now bomb is down somewhere, and we can sit here and try to make sure that we can isolate fights a little better. Maybe we peek up, try to get a kill, try to run back here and do the same thing, isolate it. Now one of them has to defuse the bomb. We can sit here and try to fight the guy that's going to be off of it. So it's a constant battle that players are trying to use with themselves and with other players in order to isolate these fights and make sure that they are not exposed to more people than they need to be. Now, I'm going to explain this even deeper. I'm going to give you guys the best information possible. At first, I have to give you a message from the sponsor of today's video. Thank you to the sponsor of today's video, Skins Monkey. They are one of the greatest and easiest to use CS2 trading sites out there. You can swap out the skins you do not like for brand new ones that are so much more fresh. Even skins that are trade locked can be secured by adding them to your backpack. The greatest thing about the site is that you can buy skins for so much cheaper with a 35% deposit bonus when you use my code KOJO. Make sure to check out the freebie section where you can get a free skin just by completing tasks. On top of the bonuses, you also get a $5 bonus when clicking the link in the description. Alright guys, so let's take this concept even farther, and that is going to be utilizing utility to isolate these fights. Now Inferno is the prime example of this. I love it because what are CTs going to do? They're going to have one person spawn side a lot of the time and one person on site. So that's why it's our job as a T, right, to sit here and throw maybe a spawn smoke and then a backhaul smoke, right? We're going to throw these 2 sets of util in order to break this crossfire. So we're going to have that smoked off, and then we're going to have this smoked off so that it isolates the guy on site. So we know that without any of his little gimmicks, without any of his little tricks in CT spawn here, this guy is by himself, and we can play that 1v1 or 2v whatever it is and run onto site with that. Too many players at a low level don't understand this, and they'll come through here and they'll be like, oh, why am I getting farmed when I'm running into B? It doesn't make sense, right? This is so hard. I don't understand how to play T side. Well, because you're not using your utility in these situations. Also, this is a really dynamic thing that players do at a high level is, you know, say we're on CT side. We'll use a CT example now. If they're in pit and they see like 4 guys running up lane on them, they might drop a smoke down here, throw a flash, and then utilize this util in order to isolate fights, right? Maybe now they're fighting the on balcony, or maybe they're peeking around here to get 1 kill and then jumping back through here to hold this angle with the purpose of just one fight, as few people as possible, right? We're never trying to expose ourselves to more than we need to. And it's why, guys, pros are so good at playing behind cover. Playing behind cover allows you to choose what fights you're taking. Too many of you are taking whatever fight the enemy is giving you because you find yourselves in very exposed positions, right? Like maybe you're sitting here in mid and you find yourself drifting up here, and then if 3 guys run at you, 2 of them from mid and 1 from boiler, well, you know, let's hope that your aim is sharp and you can get at least 1 before you die. Versus if we're here and they start running out like that, we can then back up and play a different angle or play a setup now. And then maybe now we have a teammate Moto and we can play off of him, and we utilize team play. So isolating these fights, so important. Use utility, use cover, use whatever you can, and make smart decisions when we're doing this. So pros do that all the time, and it's something that we really can learn from. Now, another thing that pros are doing so well, it's actually crazy how good pros are at this, is utilizing jiggles. Jiggling out different angles and positions is huge because, one, if you're facing an opper, it's going to be a very hard shot for the opper if you're jiggling versus when you just walk into it. What a lot of new players do is they'll go to peek an angle, right? And instead of jiggling it, they'll just go in here and walk into the angle. Well, guys, you're giving the enemy such an easy shot, and they're going to see you before you see them. One, because of the speed, you're very slow when you do that. And two, because a lot of times if they're playing farther from the angle, you're just absolutely farms, right? So I want you to implement a lot of different jiggles when you're going around the map, doing these different things, you know, throw in some crouches while you're doing it too, and just be dynamic. Now, pros take this like to the extreme, right? And you'll see certain situations where pros will have a piece of utility out while they jiggle. And you're like, what are they doing, man? This makes no sense. And the point is, once they take contact, they're going to drop that smoke down. And good thing I'm not a rifler. Good thing I don't throw this because that was horrible. But they're going to drop a smoke down as soon as they take that contact and use the util as a reaction, right? Use that utility as a reaction and utilize the way of jiggling to do information collecting in the safest way possible. Now, before we get into the last tips of this video, guys, if you want full-on coaching sessions where you can learn a lot of these good mechanics and concepts in big videos or even some shorts, I launched a second channel named Kojo More where we do some live coaching sessions. And if you go to the description of this video, I would love to work with you one-on-one to help you understand some flaws in your game and take your level up even more. I've worked with over 200 students and I'd love for you to be the next one. So the next thing that pros are doing so right inside of this game, guys, is they are rarely getting caught out with utility. Now I say rarely because we're all human, we all mess up, but one thing I see a ton, and even face the level 10 lobbies, but especially lower and lower as we go down, is players will come out here and they'll throw a molly or they'll throw a nade or whatever it is while being completely exposed. So one, what pros are really good at is, you know, if they want to molly pit, they might come out here and jiggle, right? We utilize that trick we did earlier, or they'll throw a flash over, right, to establish that nobody's here. They're going to throw utility and then go behind the cover that they were in, pull out their gun, and then swing again. Now, in this situation, I'm going to give you some really cool nades. What they're actually going to do is they're going to sit here and molly pit like this. You can actually throw it off of that. So that's a little trick and tip. That deserves a subscribe. That deserves you sharing this with your friends. But pros are just all good. All around so good at that, right? You'll rarely catch them just throwing util in the middle of the open, right? So like say B here. A lot of you guys, when you're taking B, you just come out here and smoke like this. Guys, we don't know what's around that corner, right? A lot of the time it's a completely unknown, or someone might swing us from front sight while we're doing this. So, you know, pros always keep their composure. They get that kill, they come out here, they smoke it, they wait, jiggle, jiggle. All right, smoke's up and now we're going in, right? All around the board, on T side, on CT side, you'll rarely catch them with any util out like that. You know, it happens, but it's a big mistake when they do that. So definitely something that's really good to work on. Now guys, let me give you one last tip in this video. What pros are so good at doing, we've covered this time and time again on this channel. They are so good at being active, right? So like in the micro and macro, I'm going to give you a few examples here. So one thing that they might do is if they're, you know, say, you know, apps is smoked off, right? We're in the situation, the other team is running up lane on us. One thing they might do is peek out here, get a kill, drop down on this side, swing down here, and then keep moving. Do you see how I'm taking a fight in a new position every time? Also, something they might do is they'll get this initial kill, they'll come out here, throw a flash over, get into a new spot, and keep doing the same thing. I kind of messed the flash up, but you get the point. Kill. Maybe they sneak into apps here, try to fight this guy, but constantly they're changing the info, because what happens is, you know, this guy dies to the guy on balcony. He's like, yo, he's on balc, he's on balc. So then all of these players that are going to be trying to trade are on high alert, right? And so while they're focused on balcony and you've already dropped down here to get the next kills, you are staying active. You're making it so hard for the other team. Now guys, I was a professional opper when I played this game, and one thing that I always tried to do was when I was opping, I tried to be so active, right? So if I start the round in middle here like a standard opper and I get that kill, maybe I take the risk and jump across. Or what I do, if I want to play standard, I get that kill and boom, I'm out of here. I'm not playing arch now. I'm not playing this side. I either rotate B, or maybe I come all the way back into apps here and walk into apps with my teammate. And now my teammate gets it up there in a setup. I get the kill. He's up here to kill this guy. And boom, now it went from, guys, the op is mid, to guys, what the heck? The op is in halls. So on the micro side of things and on the macro side of things, if you can be active and move around, it is so good. One thing I've showed on this channel before is, you know, say in the micro, we're taking a fight on a guy in library. I see a lot of new players, what they do is they just sit up here and they do this. Do you see what's wrong with that? If somebody is in library, sure, it's a little bit of a hard shot to hit, but after you pop your head up enough, they're just going to pre-aim in one spot because that's all you're doing. So you got to be really cognizant with how we're fighting these angles, right? Go back and forth, change it up a little bit. Especially when you have to multi-frag, you're not going to be able to multi-frag at a high level if you're not able to actually stay active and move around. So I hope that this video helped you guys out. If it even helped one person out, I'm so happy. Like I said, go ahead and fill out my coaching form down below if you'd want to work with me one-on-one. Join my Discord, guys, and go ahead and check out that second channel. I'm trying to get it to 1,000 subs. It's been a grind, and it would mean so much to me if you took the time to go do that. So without further ado, let's go ahead and end this video. Stay tuned for tomorrow's video. I have a lot of good stuff I'm going to pump out on this channel, and I appreciate all of you. So peace out. Peace out.